Hey everybody, and welcome to the Paws 4 Stitches podcast. My name is Candy, and I am coming to you guys today. It is November 27th. It's Sunday. Happy after Thanksgiving to those of you who just celebrated a few days ago. Jamie and I are still here up at the cabin in Wilmington, New York in the Adirondacks, and we had an absolutely lovely Thanksgiving weekend with my parents, who took a pretty long ride all the way up from South Carolina. They had actually been up in New Jersey babysitting my niece, their granddaughter Madison, and after that they headed on up to spend Thanksgiving with Jamie, me, and their two grand doggies. So we had a great time. Probably most of the highlights involved eating as usual, which was really funny because ever since Jamie has had his heart attack, as some of you may know, he's definitely been, we've been a lot more careful with food, let's say. But this weekend that may have gone out the window just a bit. I think I ate more this weekend than I've had probably since June. So my tummy is recovering slowly. Of course, I'm sitting here drinking a glass of wine as I'm podcasting and talking to you guys, so it mustn't be too bad, but we definitely will be eating light for the next few days to make up for all the junk we had, but it was really good stuff. Obviously Thanksgiving, I'll put in a few pictures here just to show you a little bit ambiance and what it was like having Thanksgiving up here at the cabin. Thanksgiving dinner itself was delicious. Jamie, and by the way, Jamie apologizes. This is going to be an interesting episode because I'm going to film some of it here and then we're going to film some of it back in New Jersey, mainly because we left a package that we needed to bring up here to share with all of you guys for the podcast. So, and that was actually the part that Jamie wanted to kind of join in on and talk about. So, you may not see Jamie today unless he pops his head in, if he's in and out. Right now he's doing outside finishing up the Christmas lights. But anyway, I will put in some pictures here and there to kind of show you the fun stuff that he made. One of the things he tried that was a little bit different this year, the last, I think, 3 years, he has been brining the turkey, which obviously for those of you who know your turkey stuff, which I am not one of those people. I just happen to be married to one who does. I know for a fact that it makes the turkey nice and moist. This year, he tried something even a little bit different, where for the first, I think, 30 minutes that the turkey was in the oven, he, popped that temperature up to like 500 degrees. I think he read about that or saw that. I think Alton Brown recommended that just to kind of really crisp up the skin and make the turkey beautiful on the outside. So it seemed to work pretty well, nice and crisp on the outside, and it was still, from the brining solution, really yummy and nice and juicy on the inside. So great turkey, great sides, great everything, and we really had a nice dinner. One of the other fun things that we did, though, I don't think I have a picture of this, but one of the newer traditions we have, usually the day after or at least a couple days after Thanksgiving, is we like to take all of the stuff that we had for Thanksgiving dinner and make it into a panini, which I'm sure if somebody else came up with this term, but we usually refer to it as our gobbler panini special. So Jamie brought up the panini press. We had those on, I guess, Friday night. That was fun. And then on Saturday, we actually took my mom. My dad stayed and hung out with the dogs at the cabin, and we took my mom for a ride to Asgard Farm, which is a local farm up here, maybe about a 15-20 minute drive from where we are. And it's mainly a goat farm. And I wish I knew. I'm going to put in some pictures because we actually, for the first time, got to see the goats out in the field. So that was kind of cool. And they were lovely. I actually don't remember the name of the type of goat, the breed of goat, but they are really, really cool looking. And so at Asgard Farm, they do a lot. They have other animals as well, but the shop is lovely. It's only open 2 days a week, but you can get tons of meat, lots of goat cheese, which, holy smokes, that is delicious. And one of our favorite things that they actually make are caramels that they actually make with the goat's milk. So it's a cool place. So we ended up picking up some bratwurst there because my dad's a big fan of brats, and that is what we had on Saturday night. So yeah, between all of the yummy dinners and the fact that we had dessert, I think every night, not only did we indulge in one of our favorite pies, which is from the Noon Mark Diner, which is in Keene Valley up in New York. We pass it on our way here. Usually we just pick up the pie for holidays because otherwise it would just be dangerous. We would eat way too much of it. But we ended up getting an awesome apple blueberry crumb pie, and we had a little bit of that. And then also my parents had brought up some really amazing apple dumplings that my mom and dad made with their church for a fundraiser that they were a part of recently. So yeah, there was a lot of food these last few days, and my pants are screaming. So yeah, we're going to be back to some yogurt and salad and probably trying to have some healthy meals this week as we head back home to start another work week. So anyway, I hope all of you that celebrated Thanksgiving had a wonderful time. And, now here we go. It's leading up to Christmas. We are big believers in Christmas stuff starts right after Santa comes in the Macy's Thanksgiving parade. So as soon as that happened on Thursday, the Christmas music was on full blast. We got out all of the Christmas movies. We actually even found a very cheesy Christmas movie on Netflix that we watched the other night. I don't even remember the name of it, but honestly, it was the most predictable movie that you could probably imagine, but it was fun to watch anyway. So here we go. So a lot of this podcast actually is going to be maybe me starting to stress out a little bit as I do this time of year every year about my Christmas knitting. One of these years, I am going to take the advice of the Knitmore girls, and I am going to go full force in participating in their December Grinch-along, but unfortunately, this is not the year because I was not diligent enough with my Christmas gift making throughout the year, but it is what it is. Luckily, I enjoy making things for people. I enjoy finding new, quick, simple, easy gifts to make, so I'm going to try really hard not to stress about it, and we'll see how it goes, but we'll talk about that more later. Just to give you the rundown, for these first couple segments, I think I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the CALs, challenges, little events that we have going on in the Paws for Stitches Ravelry group. We're going to talk about some finished objects. As you can see, I am wearing one and very excited about that. We're going to talk about my new slight obsession with crochet. And then I think I'll tell you guys a little bit about some of the whips and things that I have going on. That probably will be the end of what I talk about here with you guys from upstate. And then when we get back home and Jamie and I have the chance to do some podcasting, some recording together, we're going to talk about an absolutely lovely package we received from Ireland in getting us excited about the start of the Advent. And I also will talk a little bit more then about some Christmas plotting and planning and gift making and all that stuff. And then last but not least, I really would like to award another Sheepy in this episode, so that will definitely happen when we get home as well. So all that aside, let me just take a quick sip and put this down. I don't know why I'm holding this, for comfort or something. I have no idea. But anyway, we just had a little bit of wine left over. It sounds sad, but I couldn't bear to pour wine down the sink. And we're cleaning up to get ready to go home, and we probably had like one glass of wine left in the bottle. So there we go, little Sunday afternoon wine treat for Candy. But anyway, couple things. The Thanksgiving Tic-Tac, or the Thankful, Tic-Tac photo challenge. If you don't know anything about it, you can find out all the details very quickly by going and checking out the thread in my Ravelry group, which, by the way, I did not mention this earlier, but I'll put the information in the down bar there. You can find me, Candy, as Paws 4 Stitches on both Ravelry and Instagram if you're looking for me. Those are the two easiest places to find me. So go ahead and do that if you're looking for me. But anyway, in that Ravelry group, there is a thread about the Thankful Tic Tac Photo Challenge. I have definitely already seen some adorable pictures posted in the thread, so I'm going to be super excited to award that prize to somebody at the end of this month. So I'm excited, very excited about that. If you are curious about what the prizes are, you can check that out in my last episode. I did show them, and they are pretty cool prizes. So it's not too late to go ahead and post a 3 in a row pictures. If I think of it, I'll put up a little picture here of the tic-tac-toe board again. And don't forget too, you can also use the hashtag ThankfulTTP Challenge in Instagram, because I'm going to be drawing a winner from that hashtag thread. I don't even know if you call that a thread, but whatever. I'm going to be drawing a winner from that as well. So hopefully you get those last pictures in. I will admit I still have a few days myself to, I was trying to challenge myself to actually take photos for all 9 of the different photo ops that are listed on the board. I think I've done all but 3, so I'm going to see when I get home if I have the time to do that yet. The one that's going to be hardest, believe it or not, for me to get is knitting with my friends, or knitting with good friends, because I actually haven't had the chance to get to my knit group. Unfortunately, it's been so busy with the holidays, so I don't know if I'm actually going to get to post that one, but we'll see how that goes. So that is the Thankful Tic Tac Photo Challenge. The other thing I wanted to mention is the Jar Along, which is still going strong with my buddy Jen Sheelan of the Jen Sheelan podcast. We actually have one more full month after November, and here is where I have to say a huge apology, because a couple things that I have neglected to do. One is I have neglected to show what my November prize is. If you watched the last episode, you know that the feature jar for November was the Jen Sheelan's Dream Whisperer jar, which is absolutely lovely. I will definitely put in a picture of that here as well. But I forgot to show you what the prizes were for November. So let me do that real quick, because they do have sort of a November fall colored theme going to them. Let me just put this aside. Get this. I'm going to just show you this. I don't even want to take this out of the package, because I'm just going to ship it this way. But this is an amazing Notions pouch from the wonderful Roberta, who you know I lovingly refer to as the Bag Diggity. And Roberta is the wonderful maker behind the Steel City Stitcher Etsy shop, and she makes amazing project bags and also these amazing, Notions pouches. The other thing I've been eyeing up, she also has DPN holders, which I definitely have been interested in trying out to see if that solves my people have given me some really good feedback on my 9-inch circular question that I posed last time, but I want to try some things out, including that DPN cozy trick, which might actually help out a little bit. Who knows? But anyway, this is one of the prizes for that November prize pack, and then its partner is going to be this absolutely gorgeous skein of Spirited Fibers yarn, which I've talked about a few times in the podcast. I don't know how the lighting's going to show on this. Oh, that's pretty good. Very autumnal colors, you can see. I think I wanted to do that for the November prize, just because, sort of the theme and all of fall and the end of fall. But this is an absolutely beautiful skein of superwash merino nylons in 80/20. And it's a nice sizable skein. It's 400 yards. And also, too, I couldn't help the fact that the name of this is Autumn Leaves. So we definitely, I'm going to be very excited to give this out to one lucky winner for November. But here's where I have a wacky confession to make. I think I've got too many cows, contests, things like that going on. I must have somewhere along the line lost track, and I don't think I ever posted a thread for people to put up their finished objects for November for the jar along. So I apologize for that. And for me, I think the easiest solution, it's already up there, but what you'll find is that I created a thread that is for a combination of November/December finished objects. What I'm also going to do is maybe reach out to Jen Sheelan and see, check out who some of the people were that entered over in her Ravelry group, because we always encourage double dipping in both of our groups. Just to remind people, you know, first of all, you guys, if anybody's ever watching this and I say something and I tell you guys something and then you go over to the Ravelry group and it doesn't exist or you have no clue what I'm talking about, please don't hesitate to give me that feedback, because honestly, it's probably just, as it is this time, it's just because I completely forgot. I had too many other things on my mind, I suppose. I am not insulted at all when people point out things that I've goofed up on. In fact, I actually appreciate it. I'm still appreciative of, of course, off the top of my head, I can't remember who it was, but somebody a couple episodes ago told me even about the sound quality of my video was a little bit poor when they were trying to watch it on their iPad. So luckily I reached out to some friends. It was actually Jen Sheelan who kind of tipped me off on something that I could do on my end when I'm editing to kind of adjust the sound quality. So, you know, if you guys don't tell me things like that, I can't fix it. So anytime you think I've goofed, please totally feel comfortable reaching out to me, PM me, and tell me about it. That would be greatly appreciated. So anyway, what I'm going to do, obviously, then for the last stretch of the jar along is I now have the thread open for November/December. And at the end of December, when we're wrapping up the jar along, I'm going to pull for a November winner, and I'll pull also for a December winner. So hopefully everybody thinks that's fair and is okay with that. So, you know, go ahead, definitely make sure you get your entries in then that last time around, because there'll be 2 opportunities to win, of course. I guess, sort of. Anyway, so that's it. That's all for the jar along. I haven't actually talked to Jen about December yet, and we still have a few more days. So I'm going to reach out to Jen. I'm definitely going to do another podcast within the next week or so. But you can be sure that we'll probably mention another one of Jen's jars for that December jar along, for just to kind of feature her last jar pattern for December. But I just have to double check with her and make sure that, you know, we're on the same page as to what that is. So that is the jar along, but I just want to say a big shout out to Jen Sheelan and to thank her so much. Jen is probably one of the first people that I reached out to when I started podcasting and kind of hooked up with, and it's just a testament to how wacky and crazy this world is, that you can actually end up making wonderful friends with people just by reaching out, you know, to other people virtually who you have these crazy things in common with. So it has been such a pleasure working with Jen for the last several months with this jar along, and we've been so excited to see you guys making so many absolutely beautiful jars. And by the way, the last thing I'll mention, and I think even Tracy from the Grocery Girls shared a picture of Jen's Fairies Firelight jar in the last episode of the Grocery Girls. So hopefully those of you who've not seen the beauty that lives in these jars, they are fast to make, they are easy to make, they are beautiful and very versatile, so they really would make great Christmas gifts. I'm actually keeping that in mind myself because I know I'm going to be fast and furiously plotting out my Christmas gift knitting over the next week or so. But anyway, last thing I wanted to do, just as a shout out for Jen and for myself, is to show you what I treated myself to. I actually treated myself to a skein of Jen Sheelan's new yarn that she is now dyeing. This one, and it's totally not, you know what, forget it. It looks, I was going to keep it in the package, but I'm totally opening this up so you can really see it. I ended up scoring a skein of her Falling Leaves colorway. Let me just do this quickly. Because I am totally drawn to anything autumn, fall, color-wise. So I'm excited about this. Let's see, hopefully that will do the trick. Oh, wow, that is so pretty. She really, for somebody who is just getting into dyeing, is doing such an amazingly beautiful job. I love her tags. Everything that Jen does is very polished, very professional. And here's the funny thing is I actually, when I ordered this, I told Jen that I was ordering it to give away for the November prize for the jar along. I'm a total big fat liar, because once it came and I actually really got to see it, I decided that I think, first of all, this other skein is just as lovely. But I really wanted to have this for myself. You know, the first skein of Jen Sheelan yarn that I purchased, I really want to be able to kind of whip this up myself. I don't know when I'm going to do something with it. It's probably going to be a pair of socks, but I'm super excited about this. This is her Warm Fuzzies sock base, by the way. Absolutely spectacular color. And again, this is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And it's a nice sizable skein, by the way, 460 yards. So I don't know, maybe this will even, I could even incorporate this into a beautiful shawl for next fall. So I'm going to hang on to that for a time that I could really enjoy it. So thank you, Jen, and best of luck to you. People are going to be really lucky when they start getting these skeins as a little party in their mailbox, that's for sure. All right, last thing I wanted to mention, the random hats of kindness Cal. I mentioned that to you guys on the last episode, I think. Yeah, and on Instagram. So another thing that I wanted to do, we talked about this, we're definitely not getting into election talk again, but still so excited and flabbergasted over all of the generosity that came out of people's frustrations with the election, whatever side you were on. I think it was a huge sign to me that folks in this knitting community want to reach out and do something to make somebody feel good. So as I mentioned, my little contribution is starting this Random Hats of Kindness Cal, which is definitely going to go through the end of this year, possibly longer. I'm even thinking about maybe extending it to the actual presidential inauguration day. I know that seems odd, but it seems kind of symbolic because that was the whole reason that I started this Cal in the first place, just as a reminder to people that no matter what the outcome of an election is, nobody can take away your capacity to do something good for somebody else. So I almost think it might be symbolic to let this Cal run through that particular historic date. So we'll keep talking about that. But again, there really aren't too many rules about that, as long as you have to pick a hat pattern, make a hat, knowing that that hat is going to be gifted to somebody else, whether it's charity knitting, whether it's knitting for your grandmother, whether it's knitting for anybody, as long as the hat is not for you and it is meant to bring joy to somebody else or comfort to somebody else, that's all it has to be. I did not forget to put up the thread for that Cal, unlike the November jar along. So that is already there and waiting for you guys in the Ravelry group if you're looking for it. So go ahead and check that out as well. Thank you so much. And I know that I'm really excited. And speaking of, that actually is a perfect segue into my finished objects, because as you can see, I am totally wearing a finished object, which is my Hamel Knit hat by the fabulous Emily Straw of the Knitting Butterflies podcast. The reason I say it kind of has something to do with the Random Hats of Kindness Cal is because if you remember in my last episode, I'm going to get nice and close. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just got distracted by the hat. I get distracted by this hat a lot because I just love it so much. I'm not taking it off my head because the hat hair situation is probably going to be uncontrollable after that, so I hope you don't mind. But anyway, I had mentioned that I had had a little bit of trouble with my gauge on the brim of this hat, so it's a little bit on the tight side, but I don't think I'm not like cutting off circulation to my head, to my brain or anything like that. So I'm actually thinking that what I said before about that I was going to give this hat away to my niece, yeah, that might not be happening. I might actually be keeping this hat for myself now because I think it actually looks fine. So this will not be the Random Hat of Kindness that I give to somebody else, because I'm just going to, this is my selfish hat of selfishness. I don't know if that's a thing, but it is now. So anyway, I'm totally keeping this bad boy and I am super excited about it. I will absolutely make another, possibly more than one of these hats. I had considered it for a Christmas gift for a couple folks in my life, but I'm not 100% sure if I have the time commitment for that. So it might be the kind of thing that ends up actually being more of a birthday gift in the next year for some friends of mine who are equally Hamilton obsessed. So I am super excited about how it came out. I wish I could do, I don't know, you can see the star. That's probably a horrible attempt at hoping that you just really only saw part of my head there. But I absolutely love this hat, and I am super excited that I finished it. And I, again, am just so thankful, as I talked about last time, to have had the opportunity to test knit this hat for Emily. And it's been super fun to watch how many people are so excited about knitting up this hat for themselves. And I hope that people are enjoying it as much as I did. So again, Emily, thank you for that, and I appreciate it, and I think the world is absolutely going to have its eyes on you, my friend. Rather, history will have its eyes on you, my friend, because this hat pretty much just rocks. All right, so that's finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 is actually not fiber related at all, but it is Hamel knit hat related, and I hope Emily does not mind that I'm going to take a moment to do this, but I wanted to show you guys something else that I've been dabbling in lately. And when I say dabbling, Sarah, I'm sorry, I'm totally purloining that term from your podcast, The Dabbling Shepherdess. But I definitely have been doing a lot of dabbling in other crafts as well lately, which we'll talk about also with something else in a moment. But one of the things I've discovered that is quite enjoyable is making wine glasses. And by making wine glasses, I mean basically just buying plain wine glasses and then buying some actual acrylic paints just from your big box store. The ones that I used, I'll put up a picture of them here, but they're the, I believe it was Folk Art was the brand. And I know this sounds silly, but one of the things I looked for were the paint containers, the ones that on the top of the lid, they actually have a little picture of dishes because some of these paints are actually even dishwasher safe. Now, all of the paints are safe to use on making glasses. You just have to make sure, as I'll show you in a moment, that you want to keep a distance from where people's lips will actually be on the top of the glass, just to be on the safe side. I've seen ones that don't do that, so I'm assuming that's probably fine as well, but I would prefer to be safe. I would also prefer to, if I were keeping these glasses, I also would probably not put them in the dishwasher, even though it does say that the paint is dishwasher safe. What you end up doing with this paint, once you've decorated the glasses, is you actually put them in a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes, I believe, to kind of heat set the paint. And then that's supposed to cause, to really get it to, to settle in there on the glass and not have any problems with that kind of stuff. So anyway, what I created recently, I'll put up a picture of it. I did send off, now I feel like I can share it because she already has it. I sent a wine glass that I created to my Advent swap partner, Dariona, in Ireland. So I know she's been enjoying that, along with at least one so far, maybe, of the 25 straws that Jamie threw into her package for her. But I also then had told Emily, this is how, see, it all comes full circle back to Hamilton all the time. I had told Emily that I wanted to contribute something as a prize for her, the knit along for the Hamel knit hat. And she already has some amazing Hamilton related prizes. You have to go, if you are planning on knitting the Hamel knit hat, you have to run on over to that thread in the Knitting Butterflies podcast group and join up. Do not throw away your shot at one of these amazing prizes. There are awesome stitch markers. Oh my gosh, I love the stitch markers. I want them so badly. There is, I think, a project bag that's amazing. I think Emily's even giving away a copy of the soundtrack to Hamilton. There are just several really cool prizes. So I wanted to thank Emily again for the opportunity to work with her on the test knit. So I offered to, now that I'm really slightly obsessed with making wine glasses, maybe not obsessed. I guess you can't say you're obsessed with something when you've made 3 of them, but I definitely know I will be continuing to make these. But anyway, what I did was sort of a knitting lover / Hamilton lover inspired glass, because this one says, talk less, knit more. All right. So this is the glass that I created. I actually made a couple of them. I am encouraging Emily, however, to keep one of them for herself, because I think these came out really fun. But I'm hoping that one of the winners of her Cal, somebody who is drawn for that, will actually get one of these lovely glasses sent to them. I'm really excited about how they turned out. Just like Emily put the iconic star on the top of her hat pattern, what I actually did with the glass is I put the star on the bottom of the glass, which is kind of neat. I'll turn it around too. So like when you're drinking, you actually can see the star at the bottom. It's kind of fun. So hopefully you'll get a kick out of that. The other thing too that's sort of Hamilton-esque about this glass are the little swirlies, which may just look like swirlies to you, but I was totally intentionally thinking like Eye of the Hurricane from one of the songs from Hamilton when I put that on there. So I'm showing these glasses because one of the things I'm thinking about possibly exploring in the new year, and I'm just throwing this out maybe to get some feedback from people, honest feedback about whether or not this is even worth considering. I am really starting to realize that doing this whole podcast thing, the more and more fun things that you want to do that involve giveaways, involve a lot of trips to the post office. And while I totally don't mind, and also involve a lot of prizes as well, and while I really don't mind, and that I could totally pull this off, I think, as long as I, maintain manageable goals for myself, I was actually thinking that I'm not so sure I'm comfortable with asking for donations for this podcast, because I'm not doing anything special like a lot of the big name podcasters that have gotten involved in the whole patron thing and all of that. I wish that Jamie and I had the time in our lives to do things like that. We definitely don't. But I also would like to find a way to sort of offset some of the cost for shipping and mailing and prizes and things like that for this podcast. So one of the things I was thinking of is, I don't know if people would actually ever be interested in personalized wine glasses. I could probably come up with some pretty fun knitting inspired ones, I think. So I think in the new year, I'm going to explore this as a possible idea. But before I go crazy, PM me, put a comment in the thread below. What I'm basically saying is, I do not want to open an Etsy shop. Please know that right off the top. I don't think I could handle that with my real job, real life, and all of that stuff right now. But what I'm thinking of is maybe from time to time, just sharing and showing some, I'd probably have to open a shop to sell them, I suppose, but to actually just be able to sell some glasses at a pretty, reasonable, affordable price, but use that money to, like I said, to offset some of the shipping costs that are factored into doing this podcast. So I don't know if you guys think that's a good idea. Let me know. If you don't, I'm not going to not do it. So I'm not going to not continue to do this anyway. So it really doesn't matter to me one way or the other. So maybe, who knows, maybe the glasses will even just be prizes from time to time for the podcast. But I'm having fun making them, so I wanted to throw that out as an idea. Okay, next FO has to do with, oh my gosh, there are, we enable each other terribly in this knitting community. And every once in a while, I am the biggest sucker. It does not take me a long time to get suckered into something new. And not that long ago, Boston Jen of the Downseller Studio podcast, she posted, and I swear it was within hours, like one picture to the next. She talked about on Instagram, and I think she also talks about the baskets in her latest audio podcast as well. I haven't had the chance to listen to it myself, but I did see that she mentioned it in her show notes. But she mentioned a crochet basket pattern it's the ombre basket. And it's actually a free pattern, and you can find it on Ravelry, but you can also find it by going to I think it's the Crochet in Color blog, just on the interwebs. You can find that. I am not a crocheter, So looking at this, I was like, oh, Candy, what in God's name are you thinking? This is, this is going to be difficult. This is going to be hard. But, Boston Jen had mentioned that she did not, she was whipping these up left and right. I don't remember how many she's at offhand, last count, but I think she's definitely already made at least 3, if not more, of these baskets and is planning to make more for Christmas gifts. So I had to give it a shot. I had to try and see if, I could learn the sort of crochet moves that I needed to make this basket, and it really wasn't that bad. And in fact, I could totally see myself as a hooker. Let's let that sink in for a moment as a possible title for this episode. Yeah, I could totally see myself. I think one of the things I'm enjoying about dabbling in so many different crafts is that it just I'm not saying I could ever get bored with knitting, but it's actually nice to give your hands a little bit of a break to do something different. That's why I tried the rug hooking, even working on those wine glasses just as something a little different, something extra on the side. I don't want to think of it as cheating on my knitting, but I'm free to see other crafts. Let's just say, I'm an open crafter. I'm not committed to any one thing. So this whole crochet thing sort of fell into my lap. Thank you, Jen, and I am loving it. So here's the thing. What I wanted to show you, though, full disclosure, is that my first basket is nowhere near perfect. Oh, sorry about the lighting in here. It's a little dark. You can see the light. I think it's the light from the window actually is not helping me. But anyway, hopefully when I start showing you this, it'll be fine. So anyway, this was my first attempt at the ombre basket. I'm just going to try and puff that side out so you can really see the shape of it a little bit better. That's better. And I think it actually came out fine. One thing that I noticed was that I totally did not follow the directions, and I did far too many more rounds than I needed to of just the straight single crochet stitch. The other thing that I totally goofed, and I'll show you, like just the bottom, see how that kind of pops out like that a little bit? When I actually picked up for the outside, sort of to start building the outside of the basket, I totally think I went into the wrong part of my stitches on the bottom round. So that was definitely something I wasn't entirely pleased with. And also, if you really look at this, this is where Candy has no shame and just shows you all of her mistakes. If you look at this closely enough, you could totally see that it's not even centered. All right, so I wouldn't call it epic fail because you know what? I've been totally using this bad boy as a project bag and loving it. I really like it. I like how it stands up nice and tall so that you can kind of work on a project right straight from there. So I'm not unhappy with this bag at all. I'm not necessarily happy enough to give it out as a gift to somebody else, but I was happy to use it as a learning experience for myself to see what I needed to fix the next time around. And boy, did I ever, because already, some of you may have seen this. I already posted this on Instagram because I finished it this weekend up here at the cabin. I've made now my second one, which is this lovely, oh my God. I don't know if you could hear it. Oh, maybe you can't hear it. Clarence is sleeping at my feet, and he's doing that like doggy dreaming thing where he's, sort of running, like doing the paw running thing and whimpering. So if I hear it again, I'll stop talking abruptly. So just so you know why. But anyway, here is my second attempt at the ombre basket. This time I actually again, that's the only thing is it's when you sit it up, the bottom kind of pops out, but this actually I think looks so much better than the first one. First of all, the proportions are what they should be because I actually did the right number of rounds this time. The other thing I did was I actually started out with I'd used 3 solid colors, kind of worked out the math so that I would go a little bit, a few rows of this, then a few extra rows of the dark gray. It was sort of a top color, a few extra rows of the charcoal gray, and then mostly the light blue on top. So I really like the color combination. The other thing too about this is that this is all, honestly, I just went to Michael's and they had, I just used the Lion brand whatever, Vanna's Choice, I think it was, acrylic yarn for this. What I'm finding is easier for me, because you have to hold 4 strands together, is actually using the same color yarn. And I just bought 4 balls of that yarn and held it together. It's easier than trying to take one ball and divide it into 4 different skeins so that you could hold 4 different strands together. I found that to be a little bit easier. Whereas in my first one, I also accomplished that by using 4 different colors and holding the 4 different colored strands of yarn together. It's kind of funny if you think about it. They both have very, very different looks. But again, wow. This one, I also think you could just see the crochet stitch definition so much better. Ooh, look at that. My, what do you call it? My spindle's poking out of the bottom there. My Turkish spindle is in there. So this one I definitely think is gift worthy. Hey, Addie, why are you scratching? We're having a little scratching issue. I think that poor dog is scratching every time. You guys must think we don't give her medicine or something like that. Oh, Clarence just settled down behind me on the bed. Addie will probably do the same. We'll see. You gonna lay down, girl? Nope, she's on the move. Anyway, can you see Clarence there though? Let's see. Hey, buddy. What are you doing? Hey, Clarence, what are you doing? You want to wave? Hey, you sitting by the fire? Oh, you're such a cutie. He was a very good boy this weekend. There was a little bit of an incident with a glass Christmas ball breaking that we think he might have eaten a little piece of, but we're keeping an eye on him and hoping that everything is okay. It certainly is not the last. It will not be the last thing he eats that he's not supposed to, and by no means has it been the first. So we've been through this before. All right. So that's that. So as I said, I am really all about crocheting all of the things right now. I'm not going to talk a tremendous amount about this right now, but I am excited to crochet more. I definitely think, there may even be a way for me to factor in the other thing I made too. This is going to sound silly, but I actually just, because I learned how to make a simple circle here, what I did was I actually crocheted what I'm just kind of considering a little mug rug that you can rest a mug on. I don't think you'd be able to, you definitely would not, I wouldn't recommend it for a glass of wine. Boom. Looks very pretty, but I don't think it would be very stable. This is definitely something, the thickness of this I think would work better for a really sturdy, heavy-duty mug. Jamie thinks it's too thick. I'm actually thinking of maybe just experimenting with this a little bit more, making them a little bit thinner, but still thick enough that you can rest something on top of it. And then maybe making like a set of 3 of these and then even putting them in and making a little basket almost similar to the bigger one that I made, maybe without the handles. So one of the things that I think is going to be fun about crochet is just taking a concept or an idea from one pattern and adapting it to try something new. So you know what? I've got lots to learn, as I always do, but I definitely could see myself continuing to enjoy all of this crochet madness. The other thing I wanted to mention too that I can't imagine I won't get sucked into at some time is that damn granny stripes blanket that I keep seeing popping up. I saw it first, I think, with Chelsea from the Legacy Knits podcast. Then, of course, Sue started working on one. I think they even saw it first, or I think Molly from the Homespun House was talking about having seen Jilly from the Knitting Broomstick working on it. Oh my gosh, it definitely looks like something so much fun, but there is no way that I can even dare try working on something like that right now because we have Christmas gifts to make, yo. That is it. It is on like Donkey Kong right now with Christmas gift knitting, crafting, making, all of the things. So crochet, as much as I love you, my crochet experiments might have to wait a little while longer for the new year. So that is that. On the spice market, going right into whips, on the spice market is still in the works. I don't even know if I'm going to pull it out and show you. I will insert a picture of what it looks like. I think I have a picture of what it looks like at the moment. But I definitely, it is something that has taken a little bit of a backseat as I've been starting to work on some of these gifts. I know I still have till November 30th. I also have a 5-hour car ride going home with a headlamp. tonight. And I think I still have 1, 2, 3 colored stripes left. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to get done before the end of the day on the 30th, but if it does, it is totally going to be amazing, and I will put it up in all of those big bad burgalong threads and be so proud and happy that I pushed myself to finish it. But it's okay. I'm going to finish it anyway. So just because I don't finish it in time for a knit along, it's not going to be the end of the world. So that's that. The other thing, one more thing that I wanted to show you guys is this. And right now I still have a little bit of work to do on this, but I was talking about Jen Sheelan before, obviously, because we've been doing the jar along together. And so many of you already know that Jen has designed a variety of mason jar cover patterns. What you may or may not know is that she also designed some absolutely beautiful Christmas ornament cover patterns. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it, but basically if you actually can get a clear plastic Christmas balls, I found them, they're for sale by, you can just buy one ball if you want, or you can buy lots of balls. Depends on how many balls you need. This is probably going to go to a place where it shouldn't right now, but I'll just stop talking about balls at the moment and show you this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pattern. This is actually one of it. This is from her Victorian Yuletide, the second set, and this is the Genevieve pattern. So I started working on this. Here, I should put it like, oh look, it's sort of hanging on my tree, sort of. Oh look. It would fit right there perfectly. No, but it's not done yet. But look at it up close. How pretty is this pattern? Such an easy pattern. The only thing is that I definitely think I have to go back for myself. I tell you, I should just accept the fact that I think I'm a very tight knitter and that I need to probably just go, with something like this, I probably need to just go up a needle size. That might have helped me out a little bit, but it shouldn't be a hard thing to get around. I think I just need to knit myself another row or so on the top. The other thing that I will totally tell you guys that I probably don't need to, but I'm the dummy who decides because she's too lazy to go upstairs and get a different color to use as waste yarn to put her stitches on. Yeah, I used the same color yarn for my waste yarn, which was really dumb. So I'm actually going to take this off and put this gold color, a little extra that I had from my Hamel knit hat, so that I could go ahead. The only other thing I have to do is pick up stitches, not pick up stitches, rather put it back on, so that put the needles back on the stitches. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, you guys. And go ahead and do, I think, 3 more decrease rows. Jen and I were talking though, and she said definitely even if I just do another row of knit, I should probably be able to close up that gap a little bit. The other thing I noticed too is that if you wet it a little bit and you block it right on the ornament, it really stretches out beautifully and you can see the pattern even better than you can see it now. I actually think right now you can see it really well, but even when it's a little bit more wet, you can see it better than that. So Jen, thank you again. Another great gift idea. I know a lot of people have been knitting awesome Christmas ornaments. This might be something else for you to go and check out. So once again, not only does she have the set that I have, which is I think the part 2, but there is a part 1 and part 2. So I believe each has 3 different balls. So you can't ever get bored just making one type of ball. You've got plenty to choose from. So I think that's probably about it that I have going on right now. We're at 48 minutes. Which means that when we get home and Jamie and I still have to talk about, I may not have to talk that much actually about Christmas knitting. I might do a totally separate episode about that maybe next weekend because I think I need some time this week to do some plotting and scheming anyway. So when we get home, so we'll do a little change of scenery before this next next segment. When we get home, Jamie and I have a Sheepy award to announce, and I'm super excited about this one. And Jamie actually wanted to help out with it as well. And then we also have a little bit of joy Advent joy to share with you via our box of fun that we received from Ireland. So that is it. I'm going to sign off for now, and I will see you guys in a moment in a new location. Probably after I've already been, we're not going to get around to doing this tonight, that's for sure, after a long drive home. But after we get through a couple days of work this week, we'll regather the troops. By troops, I mean Jamie and me, and finish this up. And then I will try to get this edited and out to you guys maybe sometime later this week. So again, hope you all are enjoying the last few days of November and getting ready for that holiday rush, no matter what you might be celebrating. Thank you so much, and I will see you in a moment from New Jersey. Bye.
Hi, everybody. We're back. Jamie's with us, and we have a barking dog. So we are actually going to jump right into something, and then we'll backtrack and explain.
Oh, there he goes again.
I made the mistake of opening something before we started filming just now, and somebody is smart. I told Jamie there's no way he saw this thing that we had for him. But Jamie seems to think he smells it.
He smells it.
So we're going to go ahead. I'll explain what it is in a minute, or at least I'll just give them, maybe I'll just try and give them half. They'll split it. We'll see how that goes. Oh my God, this thing is huge. This is only...
Look at him. Oh. He's going to clear the table off.
This is only half of this cookie.
Give it to him for your trouble.
All right, wait. I'm going to break it. Holy cow, it's like a brick. Okay, wait. Are you a good boy? Now you have cookie all over your face. All right, go away. Would you like one too?
Girlie.
Oh my God, you guys, this is crazy. No, now there's lights flying. All right, we'll see how long that lasts, and we'll explain what that was all about in a second. But if we did not give them the cookie, I don't think we were going to be able to get started with this.
I think he's done with it already.
He's probably, all I could see around the corner of the camera here is the tail wagging, so I have no idea what's going on. Addie's going to sniff it.
Yeah. All right. I think we got about 2.5 minutes to get this done.
We might have a couple minutes of silence. So what we're going to do, a couple things. We want to tell you about two different exciting packages that we've received in, I would say, the last couple weeks or so? Maybe even a little bit longer on the one. And then we also decided we wanted to get together and award a Sheepy together before the end of this podcast. So those are a couple things we want to do. So anyway, the first surprise that all I can hear is him chomping on that cookie.
That's what I'm looking at, folks. When I look down here,
they are so excited, and that actually leads us to our first surprise that we got in the mail. So I guess it was shortly after, maybe a couple weeks after we got back from Rhinebeck. There was this huge box from our friend Melissa, the spicy homemaker. Who, although I don't know if I told you this, but she may not be the spicy homemaker for much longer. She's thinking about changing her name.
Oh, did not know that.
I know, I forgot to tell you that. Again, I am excited. Whatever Melissa is going to do is going to be wonderful because she's great, but I tell you, it's going to be hard not to call her the spicy homemaker. That's for sure. But anyway, we did. We got this amazing box, amazing package from Melissa. And all it was, I don't even understand, but it was a thank you. Just a thank you for us because we actually were able to get together with Melissa and her son actually had a really nice time together at Rhinebeck, enjoyed some lunch. So it was great. And we are actually drinking something that Melissa sent us. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that. Because when I opened this up, I thought she sent us a giant bottle of wine.
No, it's actually, it's a Belgium-style pale ale.
This
Matilda is what it's called.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's a nice pale ale.
And is it from a brewery out by Melissa?
In Chicago.
Okay, all right.
Goose Island Brewing, yeah.
So it's from Goose Island. I'm enjoying it very much so, and there's plenty left in the bottle, which is always good.
Not really,
okay,
but that's okay.
But we've been saving it for a special occasion, so we figured we'd actually toast to Melissa. Cheers to you, Melissa. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much
for that surprise gift, and we are very, very much enjoying it. It was actually kind of funny. Melissa sent me a message and asked if there was anything. I think she asked if there was anything we collected, and at the same time, we both were kind of embarrassed to admit that the only thing we could think of was alcohol related. So, anyway,
there's been many a times I'm in the beer store and customers have turned to me and said, "Hey, could you save some for us?"
Yeah.
So when a beer style comes out that I like, I usually stock up and we kind of keep it.
And you save it for a very long time.
So we have the stuff for the year.
You never know. You never know when you're going to run out of something you enjoy. So anyway, not only was there beer, but she also included some homemade strawberry jam, which we have not tried yet. It's in the fridge, just waiting for something perfect to have it with. Maybe we should make scones, actually.
That's a great idea.
Jamie, we have a great scones recipe from the Foster's Market. Is that where
I think from North Carolina.
Yep. Awesome scones recipe, and we haven't made them in a while, so that would actually be perfect.
This weekend. That's a great idea.
I think that would be great with that jam. Yep. And then last but not least, Melissa also, of course, she threw in a little mini skein of yarn for me. I don't have that here in front of us right now, but she also thought of Clarence and Addie, and that was what all of the shenanigans were about at the beginning of this segment, because even though I don't think Clarence saw me starting to open the package, he definitely smelled it on the table, which was the half of the big cookie that we gave them. It actually was in the shape just like this, kind of like a magnetic car decal, which I definitely have to put this on my car.
Absolutely.
And underneath it was a cookie that was actually this size, this shape, and had the same imprint of this Wagmore Bark Less logo. So
I don't think they appreciated Wagmore Bark Less than we did.
No, probably not. But anyway, here's the other. Oh crap! Here we go again.
Here we go.
Here's the other half of the cookie. Other half. So we're gonna split this into half. Can you do that for me?
Sure.
Split that again, and then that will be it, you guys. There will be no more cookie after that.
Okay, guys.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
Okay, enjoy. Thank you again, and the dogs. Thank you too, Melissa. All right, so that was one package that we received. The other package that we received also sort of has to do with Melissa, because I think I've mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast, but I know I mentioned it on Instagram that I was part of Melissa's Advent Swap. And we were so lucky. I say we because even though Jamie didn't sign up for this, he somehow ended up being the lucky recipient of some swap goodies as well, because we were partnered up with Dariona from Ireland. And as Dariona and I started talking to one another, she learned that actually Jamie and I went to Ireland for our 15th wedding anniversary. I can't believe that was almost 5 years ago now. Yeah. That's crazy. It seems
go back again.
I would go back tomorrow, seriously. I wasn't kidding when I told Jamie that I actually would have had more fun hand-delivering Dariona's package to her.
Oh, we should have, yeah.
That would have been amazing, because the little town that she comes from is called Lismore, and I think it's in Waterford County.
Yeah, County Waterford,
And every time she posts pictures on Instagram, or, we've actually... I just really admired some of the pictures we've seen of where she lived. It just reminds us very much of some of the amazing little towns that we were able to visit. And that's not actually an area that we went to, though. So
no, we didn't go to County Waterford. No.
We are totally going to have to put that on our list. So anyway, this swap package came, and we just want to show you some goodies because she spoiled us rotten. One of the first things, though, and one of my funniest stories, I guess, related to this is, again, maybe we have a problem when people ask us what we like, whether we tell them we like alcohol, or when Dariona asked, when you were in Ireland, was there anything that you liked? And I jumped right on that, and I told her my Sudafed medicine story, because the one day that we were there, I actually wasn't feeling well, so we went into a little pharmacy and ended up getting Sudafed. And it wasn't like here in the States where you just get it in the aisle, or over the counter or whatever. You actually had to go up to the pharmacist, get it from behind the counter. And I'm not even kidding you. I swear within, 3 hours, I
worked.
felt like I was totally better. Clarence, buddy, there is no more. There's no more. You need to calm down. So anyway... We need to take lessons from Jen Sheelan and Doug the dog, because somehow Doug sits like a good boy when he
Yeah.
Hey, Clarence, come here, bud. Come sit over here. we're going to have to, if we have to stop this, I might have to do some editing if somebody doesn't calm down, but we'll see how that goes. So anyway, Dariona actually totally sent us some Sudafed. Not only the head cold, but also the decongestant. So now we have 2. This is not the first time we have asked people to bring us back Sudafed from Ireland.
We got to do a disclaimer. If anything of this part is illegal, don't tell anybody.
I don't think it can be illegal.
We're sending medication overseas.
We didn't ask for like totally illegal drugs or anything like that. So, but
the stuff works. That's all we care about.
And we ration.
And it is rationed.
You cannot, like, if you just have like a stupid little cold, you are not
allowed
allowed to touch
nope.
the Sudafed. It has to be like significant, like sinus infection quality sickness or something. But anyway. We're hooked up a little bit now. Even Clarence obviously is excited about the Sudafed. So that was one thing. And then Jamie actually put in a special request as well. You could talk about this because I don't remember really having it that often.
This was with bangers and mash. Chef sauce. So we ended up getting some chef sauce, which I was really excited about. Because we can't get this in the United States. And I remember when we were over in Ireland, we got bangers and mash, and they always put chef sauce on the table.
I thought we put it on like shepherd's pie and stuff like that too.
Anything that had like mashed potatoes.
So it's like almost like more of a gravy.
It's a kind of. I thought it was kind of sweet. I haven't had it in 4 or 5 years, but I remember it as being something like a Swedish brown, not Swedish, the country, sweet brown sauce, like a sweet gravy or something.
I was actually thinking we've got some leftover mashed potatoes that I wonder if that would be good on top of that. Actually,
we got to find bangers then.
Yeah.
That's okay. We'll figure something out.
Anyway, well, we have to figure something out because we have this nice size container of it now.
I'll put it on anything.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was just the tip of the iceberg. She actually had that in a separate box because I think she was afraid that the chef sauce was going to open up and get all over all of these other goodies. Let's just real quick talk about some of the other thing that we've really, I guess, come to realize is that chocolate. And it's not just Ireland. Basically, chocolate anywhere other than the United States.
Other than New Jersey, basically.
Okay. And any kind of chocolate, because I'm not even a chocolate lover.
Neither am I.
But when we were in Ireland, when we've been other places, I don't know, there's just something about...
the creaminess to it.
That I guess that's what it is. I know people feel the same way even about chocolate from Canada. So, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing wrong here with chocolate, but
I think it's the cows, probably.
I guess so. Well,
it's probably a good quality milk. This stuff is even from like a drugstore.
Yes, we were actually in one of this. Might have even been the drugstore where I bought my Sudafed. I don't know, but these are awesome. These are just Belgian chocolate bars. I'll admit there are 3 here. There were 4. I may have possibly eaten one of them.
Yeah,
I rationed it though, like little
okay.
tiny pieces at a time.
I think I got 1 square off of that.
Yeah,
one.
that's it. So definitely 2 of these whole ones are yours.
What?
2 of these whole ones have to be yours then.
Oh, really?
Because we'll share. Anyway, so that's that. The other thing too, and when we went to Ireland, one of my coworker friends,
get a fruit bar.
We actually had to pick up Cadbury's fruit and nut bars and bring them home for her. So we actually got, Dariona sent us some of these awesome dairy milk. Some of them have caramel, and I think the other ones are just plain chocolate. But even that too, we have Cadbury eggs here in the States.
Don't talk about them.
I guess, but it's just not the same thing. I thought it was the same company, but I don't.
It is, but no.
Again,
it's made here in the United States. It's full of sugar and all that.
And then there are these too, salted caramel. We got these. So
did you tell her that I love caramel? Why is everything caramel?
I think I might have said.
Oh God, I love caramel. Yeah.
And then you also lucked out too because you're more than me. You are more of a tea drinker.
Yeah.
I'm more of a coffee drinker. I will have tea from time to time, but she also sent some Barry's tea, which you had seen or had that before.
We can get Barry's tea, but what surprised me is €2 for this box. I actually bought some Barry's tea a little earlier. Granted, it was 80 tea bags as opposed to 40, but I ended up paying $9 for it.
Wow!
So for 40 tea bags, you could pay €2, but over here we're actually probably paying twice that amount.
Yeah. So we're hooked up. Oh,
I also
talk
would
about
like to
these
try.
too.
I would like to taste the difference. That coming from Ireland, are they sourcing the tea from a different area?
I have no idea, but maybe we'll have to do a little.
We'll do a little taste
testing.
Yeah, because we could actually get this.
Okay.
This actual tea here in the United States. Only recently, only in about the past year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
This is another thing, too. Dariona said she wasn't really sure about these, but there's something having to do with brown sauce. So these are these.
These look neat. I
have
have no clue what they are.
But we totally have to break into these soon. She really, again, snack-wise, spoiled us rotten. Oh, I forgot about these as well.
Oh, the biscuits.
Yep. We've got some biscuits. All good stuff. So I think we're hooked up. Oh, and also too, these adorable little napkins, holiday napkins. So as we're eating all of this good stuff, we can totally use those. But then obviously the main thing about the Advent swap, the purpose behind it was having to do with mini skeins. So when you were partnered up with somebody, what our job was to figure out a way to create some sort of an Advent calendar type situation that it basically involved every day during Advent you would be opening up one mini skein. So anyway, what I have for me is actually, and I have not opened any of this yet. Okay,
It's not December yet.
I know, it's 2 more days though.
I know.
I can do that.
It's right around the corner.
Yes, 2 more days. I get to open the first one. So this package on top is marked 25. So obviously that one, I believe, and you know what? I think people are never sure with Advent calendars whether you're supposed to count down or count. But I always looked at it this way. When I had the candy
this
one
was
when
a
I was
Thanksgiving
a kid,
conversation.
Yeah.
We've been doing it correctly all these years.
Because
You
the
start
big
with
chocolate
one
was
and
in
go
the,
to 25.
Right.
You're not going to open this one up first.
Well, I mean, there was always like the chocolate Jesus was in the 25 square.
That's right.
My
So you
Advent
start with
calendar.
number 1, you work to 25.
So you weren't going to eat Jesus on the first.
On
That
December
would be
1st.
kind of silly. So anyway, I'm saving this for Christmas Day, which will be fun.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Okay, good. But I do know that some people have been talking about doing it the opposite way. Now, I'm not even going to open this because everything is just so beautifully packaged.
Yeah.
But I did peek, and inside there it looks like she's got every day labeled and wrapped in this really pretty brown paper. So I'm going to definitely be excited about that on Thursday. I get to open my first one. But not only did she send something for me,
but I gotta wait till Sunday, and I'm so excited. I also got a box. Haven't even opened it up, so I haven't even peeked. But I also got a box, and every Sunday, I'm allowed to open something.
Yes.
And that means a couple of days from now, I get to open up my first gift.
Yep.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dariona. I really appreciate it. This was so unexpected, but I really appreciate this. Thank you
awesome.
and thank you for everything else. I mean, this was like...
It was a lot of fun.
We were screaming in the house when we opened
really a lot of fun.
up the box.
I would totally do this.
Oh, absolutely.
Again.
But then again, she might find us at her front door one day unexpectedly.
Well, I think I already suggested that might happen.
Okay.
She seemed okay with that, although perhaps after watching this podcast, she might reconsider. I don't know. As long as we left the dogs home, maybe she'd be okay with us visiting.
I think we have to.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a choice.
Yeah, I don't think we do. But anyway, there's all kinds of other goodies too. It looks like she wrapped up a couple skeins of yarn for me, which I'm saving again, and I'll open that on the 25th with the Christmas stuff. There were a couple things though that I could see. One of which was this awesome pouch from Barbara from Knitting I Love, which I love these things, and I actually want to experiment with seeing if I could do something with my 9-inch circular needles with that. The other thing that I don't have in front of me are the Knit Pro double-pointed needles. I've never worked with them before. She sent me a set of those. Those are actually needles that I think you can only get over in Europe. You can't.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure I could probably order them somehow online, but they don't sell them here in the States. I think I'm right about that, but I'm pretty certain that that is another special thing that I wouldn't have the opportunity to try. And then we got all kinds of cool postcards and stuff too, which were really neat.
Yeah.
Again, shockingly, a lot of them have to do with beer. I don't know what that's all about.
That surprises me.
But some of these I love.
And
I think
stouts.
this is one of my favorites, this old-fashioned Guinness one.
Oh, yeah. We should get that in a tin sign.
Yeah. Actually, these would be really cool, like if we ever do like an Irish pub type thing.
Oh, yeah, put them in a collage.
Yeah, actually use them for decoration. So
yeah.
We're excited about that. We're excited about everything. And I think this is going to make the month of December so much fun.
I can't wait till every Sunday.
Yeah, I know. And you can help me open the mini skeins too, so.
Okay.
I actually am already thinking, Dariona, I'm wondering how you're going to feel about this, but I'm thinking about I'm thinking about magic knotting all of your skeins together from this Advent swap and saving them until New Year's Day, or maybe right after Christmas, and starting, there's this, I haven't showed you yet, but there's this crocheted Granny Stripes blanket that I keep seeing people working on that I'm trying really hard to resist because I have a lot of gift knitting that I'm supposed to be working on.
I think I saw it on somebody's podcast.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I thought it would actually be kind of fun to start it with my mini skeins from this swap. So we'll see. Maybe
we could watch the hockey game.
We could.
Yeah, the Winter Classic,
that
right?
Would be cool. Yeah, that's on the 1st, right?
It's on January 1st.
All right, cool.
We're big hockey fans, if we haven't mentioned that before.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Actually, there's a game on right now. So as soon as we're done podcasting, we'll probably switch.
I guess nothing's getting
switch
done
that
tonight.
over.
Then.
Yeah, no, forget it. But anyway, we do have one more thing that we wanted to talk to you guys about, and that is we wanted to end with the latest Sheepy Award. Okay. We have not given one out. I have not given one out in a little while. I guess maybe the last 2 episodes or so. So I was really excited about this. And Jamie and I kind of talked about this together. And one of the reasons that we wanted to do this together is because we're actually awarding this Sheepy to one of the first podcasts I actually watched. And even you kind of started like sneakily watching it. You know, you would like come in the room and kind of, be standing there watching, and then you'd sit down.
I'll grab
and
a seat,
watch.
finish it with you.
Yeah, so Jamie actually is also quite a fan of this, and I will say this podcast team of husband and wife as well. So we actually are really excited to award this Sheepy to the Bakery Bears, Dan and Kay Jones.
My boy Dan.
Jamie loves Dan.
I love Dan.
Hey
Dan, what's on your needles?
I love it. Actually, that's.
I love when he asks Kay that.
I know. Well, and I love then when you hear me watching the Bakery Bears, and next thing you know, from the other room, that's what he'll shout out to me. So
they're a great team.
That never gets old.
Yeah.
But it's actually been really fun to watch because I've been watching the Bakery Bears since very early on, and they are doing so much cool stuff now with all their patron members and things like that. All of the special videos, tutorials. Kay is actually dyeing some beautiful, beautiful yarn. So I'm really excited. And one of the other things, too, that we're super excited about is the fact that we've, obviously knitting is something that really helped Dan through a difficult time. And, you've been doing some crafting and knitting, and, talking about how that's actually kind of helped you feel better, too. So it's pretty amazing how something as simple as yarn could actually be a comfort to somebody during a difficult time. So, Dan, you look amazing. You look great.
He does. He looks fantastic.
Jamie's going to maybe, be trying to, I don't know, challenge you with some of his new fitness skills over here. Dan's always talking about his, knitters get fitter, and sometimes he'll post his running playlists and stuff like that. So I don't know.
My playlist is a bunch of Irish music. It doesn't really motivate people, but it motivates me.
But you said you ran to what the other day? The Chieftains?
Oh, yeah, I was finishing my run, and the Chieftains came on. Most people wouldn't run to the Chieftains, but I really enjoyed it.
No, I got a kick out of that. But anyway, I've not seen the Chieftains on any of Dan's.
Yeah, you won't find them on Amazon or Pandora or
they're
Spotify.
Not on the, people's running...
get your pumped albums,
no, I don't know. I guess most people are not getting pumped by the Chieftains.
But I did. I enjoyed it.
So Dan and Kay, thank you so much. Now, you probably have never seen this podcast before, maybe I'll be lucky enough, or we'll be lucky enough, that you watch these last few minutes so that you understand why the heck you're getting this wooden sheep in the mail. But what we actually always ask people to do, if you're comfortable, is when you receive this sheepy, which, by the way, the sheepy's going to need a passport, I guess. This is the first international sheepy. That's pretty exciting. So when you guys get your sheepy, if you would like, no pressure, not Jamie actually said, he's like, oh, do you think Dan will put on his tuxedo? I was like,
that would be classic. That would be great.
Amazing. But what we actually usually ask people to do is to just do a little acceptance speech. He's
got to wear the tuxedo.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
That would be amazing. I'd love to see Kay in like a ball gown too. That would be great.
What, and making this like the Grammys?
It could be. Well, that's what this is meant to be. This is like the Grammys, the Tonys, the whatevers.
The Grammys of knitting.
Sort of the whole fiber arts world. So have fun with it, you guys. And I hope that you'll enjoy this. Jamie and I actually we've been making these together. Jamie started out making them, and then I actually got to learn how to use the scroll saw myself.
In all honesty, I wasn't making them fast enough.
Yeah, production
so
was
then
slow.
She came to my shop and started helping me.
I just literally
but no, that was a lot of
up.
fun. We knocked out quite a few of them that evening. Yeah,
so that's good. So congratulations again, Dan and Kay. You guys have made us smile many, many times, made us laugh. We've enjoyed not only all of your crafting that we get to watch, but we're also big fans of your the places to knit segments, where you actually talk about the history in England and all of the castles and places you go to. You guys are like a huge advertisement for us wanting to actually vacation over there ourselves. So thank you for everything. And I really think that's probably about it. I could hear, by the way, we did have to stop after Clarence was being naughty. And now he's not locked in the kitchen. Our doors are like open or whatever, but we did put the gate up, which we haven't had to do in a very long time. So I don't know. I guess we have some dogs to let out, I suppose. We fed them. We gave them cookies. Melissa?
I made them crazy.
Apparently, there was something in those cookies. I don't know. You gave us the beer. You gave the dogs the spiked cookie. I have no idea. But again, maybe you really should not change the Spicy Homemaker name, because
She spiced it up.
You spiced it up big time. So thank you, everybody. And it's almost December, so we hope that you welcome in this last month of the year with a lot of fun things. As you can see, we've got some decorating going on behind us. We actually haven't decorated the mantle in a while, so it was fun to get out the stuff and do that last night, actually. So that's it, I guess. Anything else that you've got?
No.
You've got some weaving to do, though, man.
I do. I got to find time.
I know. We've been pretty busy. Thanksgiving was busy, and definitely there was not much time over the weekend to do
I was hoping to find some time.
No luck. I didn't even do that much knitting, so it's, now we're back on. Hopefully, well, of course we'll be busy now with the holidays, but that's okay. We'll find time. We'll find time. Yep. Things will get done. They always do. So I guess for now, we just want to say goodbye and enjoy the rest of your week. And we will see you guys soon. And don't forget, even though it's the crazy month of the year for many of us, please make sure to take some time out and pause for those stitches. We'll see you soon, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.